Just after 10 away from 7. Good to have you with us on the Tuesday edition of the South African Morning. I'm Gareth Edwards. Themba is away for today. It's also World Tourism Day today, and as the world returns to normalcy, if you will, the urge to travel and explore also growing. A significant the sector is to try and recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, significant for us as a country. So let's find out and explore how we're doing this here on the southern tip of Africa, where we know international tourists are one of our biggest markets. Let's speak to Themba Khumalo from Tourism SA joining us this morning. Themba, good morning to you, and obviously very important we discuss this as well because we're heading quickly into December, but we all know there are a number of issues to talk about. We'll unpack them in a moment. First of all, Themba, but the theme is rethinking tourism. How do we do that? Good morning, Themba.
Good morning, Gareth, and good morning to all the viewers all around South Africa.
Tell me about rethinking tourism. How do we do that?
So there's a number of ways in which we rethink tourism. First, we have to look at it from the demand side. And if you look at what happened during the COVID-19 period, because people were not traveling, a lot of airlines were not traveling back into the country. But right now, we have got Belgium Airlines that landed, just a week or so ago for the first time back into the country. We've got Emirates Airlines, which also, is increasing its frequencies into the country. As you may be aware, we signed an MOU with the Emirates Airlines in May of this year, and we're already seeing fruit of that agreement. And the third thing is we've also got Delta Airlines and United Airlines flying out of the USA, and that have committed to putting back extra frequencies. We're also seeing a lot of arrivals growth off the African continent because, as you know, 80% of our international arrivals come from the continent. And we've seen, Ethiopian Airlines consolidating a lot of the airlift on the continent. SAA has been in the air for a full year already. So getting that airlift back into the country is the main priority.
It certainly is as well, but the problem is, Themba, as well, because you're quite right, a lot of international airlines are making their way back to our shores, which of course we're going to celebrate. Lovely seeing Belgian Airlines coming in as well, as you mentioned. I suppose the problem is that's easy enough for the international tourists to get into our country. Let's stick with airlines for a moment. It's not exactly cheap or conducive to fly locally at the moment. We don't have enough airlines, and if you can book tickets, it's very expensive. This isn't making your job very easy.
No, absolutely. But I mean, these are just market forces that, are caused by, what has happened, worldwide in the aviation industry, and also what has happened with the fuel price, which has been affected by the war in Russia and Ukraine. So, these are forces that will course correct as, the aviation industry reconsolidates and gets more investment in. But what is more important is that on the demand side, which is getting people moving around inside of South Africa, we've seen internationally is 147% increase in international tourist arrivals here. Out of Europe is almost 561% growth of tourists coming into the country, and we're seeing very strong growth out of the Americas, 331%. Of tourists, coming back into the country. So we're seeing that economic impact of the foreign, investment that comes through international travelers coming into the country.
Themba, we need to also just talk about another issue as well, which there's a lot of plans, and you're quite right, there's a lot happening as far as getting tourists in. I'm just curious to get your thoughts as well on blackouts. How worrying is that for international tourists? Is that something that you're concerned about?
Is something that concerns the entire economy. And it is absolutely important that we focus on what is working. I mean, what is not working, we'll deal with. And I believe that, our government and, the professionals in that particular sector are doing all they can in order for us to return to normalcy. But our focus is always going to be on the things that are in fact working. So, for example, if you look at tourism, it was contributing at the end of last year, 1 in 11 jobs in the country. So, we are actually having an impact on job creation in the country, and also having an impact in terms of GDP contribution, contributing 3.2%, of GDP, as at the end of 2021. So that economic impact of the sector, is very apparent in job creation and GDP contribution.
No, it absolutely is. And this is the thing, is tourism is doing everything that you can. It's all there. It's all in place. The plans are there. It's just you've got issues like airlines and Eskom, which is making your life very difficult. But Themba, thank you so very much. I really appreciate your time in joining us this morning. So it looks like plans are very much in place, international tourism and local tourism as well. The plans are there. My thanks to Themba Khumalo from Tourism SA joining us this morning. We're back in